What is up, guys? DZ here, and today I want to show you a deck that I almost took to regionals this weekend. I think it's really fun, and I think it has a really great matchup against like Blue Eyes, Burning Abyss, and then like an okay matchup against Pendulums. But I just didn't feel like it can beat like Rogue, which is kind of, I mean, that's like the problem for every anti-meta deck is that it can't beat Rogue. So yeah, I decided not to take it, but I want to show it off anyway because it's kind of fun. So anyway, it's Koa'ki Meiru's. So we're playing 3 Air Knight. This guy, you reveal an Iron Core to special a Koa'ki Meiru from your deck. That's pretty cool. 3 Crusader. He's just important because he's a Beast Warrior. And he recycles your resources when he runs stuff over by battle. More importantly, though, the reason you're playing the deck is 3 Koa'ki Meiru Drago. So while Drago's on the field, neither player can special summon light or dark monsters. So your main goal is to summon these guys first turn. So you summon Air Knight, special Drago from your deck. And then banish like an Iron Core. So your opponent can't special summon light dark monsters. That's like basically blanks their turn if they're playing Blue Eyes or a Burning Abyss deck, or they don't have like a Kaiju or Regeki. And then from there, next turn you can reveal the same Iron Core to special another Koa'ki Meiru from your deck, and then you have 5,800 damage on the board without using your normal summon. So your opponent is basically on a 1-turn clock, maybe 2-turn clock to deal with your board, and they can't special summon, so that's pretty broken. But anyway, it just kind of turbos that board out, and it's pretty efficient at doing that, actually. I'm also playing 1 Bear. The biggest problem with this deck is it doesn't really deal with established boards too well. We're going to be playing some cards that sort of help with that. But sometimes you just like actually have everything you need, so Bear is just like what you go for, just pop cards. We're also playing 3 Terratop and 1 Tectumborg. Yeah, you can make like a lot of good rank 3s. We'll kind of talk about that in a second. But this does like everything for you. It helps your like hands where you don't have any Koa'ki Meirus. It helps your hands where you do have the combo. This is super important, so I like those guys. You used to play Tour Guide in this deck back in the day to do a similar thing, but Tour Guide's kind of slow. So we're also playing 2 Gamma Seal. Like I said, dealing with established boards is kind of a no-go. So Grand Pulse is cool, and not Grand Pulse, Gamma Seal. And I would even side, if I was playing this deck, I'd side like another copy of this, probably an Interrupted Kaiju Slumber, and then like 2 other random Kaijus, just because it's that important. For the spells, playing 3 Diamond Core as well as 2 Iron Core. So Diamond Core is your Searcher, and it prevents you from having used it. Well, it does a couple different things, but you can banish it to prevent the Koa'ki Meirus from being destroyed by card effects for a turn. So that gives you 1 turn where you don't have to reveal for them. And then Iron Core is like aids, but you always play 2, but with Desires you like absolutely need to play 2. It's a pretty low chance where you'll actually banish both of these, because like if you have Desires and any way to search this, you should just search it first. But yeah, it's whatever. We're playing 3 Tenki, 2 Tensu. No Brilliant Fusion, but Tensu kind of does the same thing. Yeah, Tenki just to get to that Ur Knight, it's really important, so yeah. And then also, like I mentioned, 3 Desires. This just makes it a lot crazier, just because once you get that initial setup, like it doesn't really matter what you have, as long as you can just kill your opponent in like 2 turns. Usually just your first turn, usually this deck just sets up for 1 turn, it makes your opponent skip their turn basically, and then you just OTK, which is really cool. I think that's why I like this deck more than like other anti-meta decks. You can't really play like Card of Demise because there's just too much stuff you want in your hand. But Desires works just fine, because once you get that initial setup, it doesn't really matter what you banish or what you draw. So yeah. And 1 Regeki, once again, still established boards are tough. For the traps, we have 3 Solemn Strike, just a generically good trap card. 3 Anti-Spell Fragrance. I know there's a lot of spells in this deck, but like I said, against like Pendulums, it's not as important to get the Drago on the board, so you're actually just digging for Anti-Spell. And it's still the same idea, though, where you can just like OTK them on your next turn. Sometimes, though, it might take 2 turns if you have Anti-Spell. But yeah, you just want to use like as many spells as possible on your first turn, and then set Anti-Spell, and then your opponent can't do it. So yeah, it's just kind of adding to that unbreakable first turn board type deal. And also prevents your opponent from Regeki and Drago. 2 Call the Haunted, for when they do get over your board, you can just call the Haunted Drago. That's pretty important. And then 1 Emptiness and 1 Mirror Force. Mirror Force. You don't want Drowning Mirror Force because you're trying to protect your board, and I don't really like Storming Mirror Force, so just regular Mirror Force for this deck. Just 40 cards. Thought about playing Upstart and cutting, I don't even know, maybe Mirror Force, but I just like it. right now. It's fine. Honestly, like all of there's so much searching in this deck that you just draw pretty consistently. Anyway, the extra deck, 2 Tiger King, pretty standard. 2 Dweller. Cosmos are like really tough for this deck, so yeah, Dweller is pretty cool. Also helps when you don't have Drago. 1 Dark Rebellion for getting over big monsters. Giant Hand for defense. The Castel and Diamond Dire combo. It's always great. You can even use some cool stuff with the Diamond Cord, Diamond Dire Wolf, because you can pop the Koa'ki Meirus, but they're not destroyed, and you just get free destruction effects. Obviously, the Utopia lineup, Lightning and regular Utopia. 1 Daigusto Emerald is for shuffling things back. Cowboy, because sometimes this deck is like 78 damage in 1 turn, or like 77 damage in 1 turn, so Cowboy seals the deal. And if the rank 3s, we have Mecha-equipped Angineer, MX Saver Invoker, and Totem Bird. So Totem Bird is better against decks where you think they're going to have Regeki or a lot of spells to deal with Drago. Invoker is like usually the one you go for because it special summons Earn It from the deck. And then Mecha-equipped when you like have everything you could possibly need, but you just want to protect the Drago with 1 extra line of defense. So yeah, that is the whole deck. Hopefully you enjoyed. I actually do think this deck's pretty good. Like I said, I almost took it to regionals. I don't know. I guess if I get my invite, I might still take this deck to regionals because when like ABCs come out, this deck's, just gets even better really. As long as Koa'ki Meirus are a deck that's always gonna be good if the metagame is slower, which it is right now comparatively to the last year. And the meta decks are primarily focusing on special summoning light and dark monsters. This deck can always steal cheap wins like that if the stars align, basically. But yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed it, and I'll see you later. Bye.